Welcome to my Intel Arc dual GPU setup and tutorial for OBS Studio. Today we're working with OBS Studio 30 Beta 3, which can be found on github.com/OBS project/OBS-studio. So basically, I'm just going to scroll down to releases, select that, and then you can see Beta 3 is on the top of the list, 30 Beta 3. We're going to click Assets, and then there's the full installer. So the official release is actually currently OBS 29.1.3. So if you don't have beta updates enabled in OBS, you will not see this update yet. But there are some differences in the Intel Arc video encoder. But this is where you would be able to download this version of OBS Studio. So once you have that installed, before you open up OBS, we're going to click the Start button and type Graphics and go into the Graphics settings, and then we're going to scroll down to OBS Studio and then go to Options and then select the specific GPU. Now I'm going to select my main gaming GPU, which in this case is the RX 6900 XT. So whatever GPU you want to game on, you want OBS to use as well, and then hit Save. If OBS isn't here, click Browse under Add an App, and then find where your OBS installation is. In my case, it's in drive C/program file/OBS Studio/bin/64bit/OBS64.exe. And this is for Windows 11. Now, another thing to do is under default settings, change default graphics settings. We're going to make sure the optimization for Windows games is turned off. And now OBS recommends that. Supposedly that was fixed with Windows 10 during a release, but just for safe purposes, we're going to keep that turned off. Now, once you have your display settings, your graphics settings set to your main gaming graphics card for OBS, you can go ahead and open up OBS, and you'll see everything looks pretty similar here. And the first thing we're going to go to is File Settings. And under the Output tab, we're going to change the output mode to Advanced. And then if you don't see AV1 for your QuickSync AV1 for your video encoder, basically you're just going to click Stream and select Custom Service. And that should be able to pop it up on your Streaming tab. And we're going to set that to QuickSync AV1, Rate Control Constant Bitrate, CBR, bitrate 20,000 kilobit per second, target usage TU1, slowest best quality, profile main, keyframe 2, B-frames 3, and then subjective video enhancements we're going to check. And under recording, you can use Stream Encoder. Now these settings will work for YouTube. So if you did want to connect to your YouTube account, you can go ahead in the Stream tab and click on YouTube and then connect your account here, and it will allow you to stream using these settings if you are interested in streaming AV1 on YouTube using an Arc GPU. And then under audio, under output audio, we're just going to set our audio bitrate. I personally just have it at 160, which I think is fine. You could turn that up if you'd like, but I think 160 is a pretty good sounding audio. Then under the video tab, we want our base resolution to be whatever your monitor screen resolution is, and then output scaled resolution to be 2560x1440. Now this video is specifically for 1440p recording, and that's why we set our bitrate to 20,000, and in this instance we're doing 60 frames per second. Now if you are using a larger monitor, like a 4K, you could downscale it. I personally think Lanczos is fine, or Area, or even bicubic, but in this instance, if you have a 1440p monitor gaming on that, then just keep this the same as your output resolution. You may have to type in these numbers manually for them to pop up in OBS. Now, under Advanced, we're just using Process High, which your priority doesn't necessarily need to be high. It just makes sure that OBS is set to a high priority. and then we're going to use color format NV12 8-bit 420 at two planes. So that's the most compatible color format for viewers, and then we're using 709 for color space, color range limited, and that will, even if you have a higher rate on your monitor, that'll just provide better compatibility. So once that's all set up, you can go ahead and apply the settings. And if your YouTube control panel may pop up if you selected YouTube, but just to verify, you can click settings again and go to output, and this should be all in here. Now you could go into recording as well and just set it up for local recording using the same method as shown, but that's how you would set this up. So under one moment. Okay, so under the game capture, so I can't exactly show you this at the moment, so I'm going to do some magic, but basically in your game capture scene, you're going to right click and click properties. Okay, so you should be able to see now. So I just, where my game capture was, I just right click, click properties, and then capture any full screen application, and then we have SLI not checked. So we don't want to use this capture mode because we set up in our Windows graphics settings to use our main graphics card. And then I just have capture cursor and anti-cheat compatibility hook turned on, and then hook rate I personally set the fastest, so as soon as I click on the game capture will show it up in OBS. And then we're using sRGB, which is not 10-bit color or HDR. So we're just using SDR video here, and I would recommend sticking to SDR just for the time being. Okay, so once that's all set up, you should be able to capture recordings using your main graphics card. It will render, and then you'll be able to record using QuickSync AV1 with your ARC GPU. Now, I do want to show you, if you do start and type in ARC and click the Intel ARC Control Center, we're going to open the app up here. What I personally do is I go under Performance Tuning, Configure, and then I set the performance boost to 0, voltage to 0, voltage offset to 0, core power limit to 27 watts, temp to 90C, and then fan speed automatic, and apply that. And what this will do is just use the lowest amount of power required for the GPU. And because this is a secondary GPU, we're not gaming on it, we're just encoding video. This should be totally fine. But if you have stability issues, you can go ahead and keep this default. As you can see, our GPU activity is not very high at all. Let's see. CPU, GPU memory use, 8%. GPU core power, 20 watts roughly. GPU activity, 58 to 60%. So we're only using about half the GPU just to record this video. So even with everything lowered. So that's what I wanted to show you in the ARC Control Center. And if you follow these steps correctly, you should be gaming in your any game you play. You should be able to play using your main GPU and record in OBS using the ARC GPU. Now we're going to switch to our game capture scene, which I would recommend. It's more reliable than display capture, but I just wanted to show you here in display capture. If you do use it and you go into the properties, Windows 10 is the only method that will likely work because you have two GPUs. DXGI desktop duplication will not work. It would require your games to be ran on the ARC GPU. So Windows 10 uses a method that allows you to capture over another GPU. So we're going to use that as the capture method, and then capture cursor is enabled if you absolutely have to use display capture. But if your game capture is working and you know it's working, then use that instead. So now I'm going to pull up Halo, and the game should be showing up now. And we're just going to monitor on a secondary monitor the stats. Actually, I can show you that here as well. So under docs, you want to open up your stats window, and what this will do is allow you to monitor if you're missing any frames. Now, if it's less than 1%, you shouldn't have any problems. If you're going over 1% missed frames, then something's wrong with the way you set it up, or you're just having other issues entirely. But could be CPU related. As you can see, we're only using about 2 to 3% of my CPU with the preview disabled. With it enabled, it will use more CPU, so I'm just right-clicking Disable Preview. But that said, game capture is recommended. It's going to use slightly less resources and won't interfere with frame rate. Okay, now that we're in game here, I'm going to go into my Halo settings, and then under the video tab, we're just going to confirm that we're using our main gaming GPU as a display adapter, and our ARC should be secondary on here. So that's selected, then my main monitor is selected, and then as you can see, I'm using 1440p for the resolution. We're not downscaling or using image scaling. Then I just set up minimum, maximum frame rate. These are my personal settings. I just have it on low with async compute enabled, and that just gives me a really nice frame rate. So now we're going to go ahead and go into a multiplayer and open up a quick play match just to give you an example of some sample gameplay. Now, I will say that I've been having some issues with my audio driver for my headset, so we may get some corruption in the audio during gameplay. I'm hoping it doesn't happen again, but just want to give you a forewarning. It seems to only happen in Halo recently, so I haven't found a fix to it yet, but this is my second attempt at trying to play this game and record, because the first time, I was having that problem. So hopefully we'll get a match going here soon and we can experience the gameplay. Just a disclaimer, having two graphics cards in your computer at the same time is not recommended because it's more resource intensive, creates more stress on the power supply, and it eats up some of your PCI bandwidth. So this is only for people who feel like they absolutely want to experiment or try something out to get better quality. Now, I will say that if you're using AV1 recording only, you shouldn't have any problems doing this. But if you try to switch the encoder on the Intel graphics card to H.264, it will fall back to the old Intel QuickSync encoder, which is lower quality. So this is only for AV1. That sort of content maybe we can go over in a future video, but it's a bit more involved. All right, so here we go. The game's loading up. I'm sending the audio through now, and we can test out some gameplay here. So as you can see, we're getting about 200 FPS, so very good performance. I'm only getting about a 10%, feels like a 10% reduction in performance. That's about it.
They know where we are. My shield's popped. Flag taken. Enemy defenders spitting with rage. You're exposed, Spartan. You're exposed, Spartan. They know where we are.
Easily captured the flag. hope we can keep this up. Oh, took my sniper. Right behind you, sniper.
An ally took their flag. Enemy carrier has revealed themselves.
I was kind of caught in between both of them there. Couldn't do much. But fortunately, it went right towards our players. Oh, I died. Shouldn't have reloaded there. Bad time.
Flag return.
Oops. Try to switch my gun. Hit the wrong button. Yeah, I am incredibly happy with the performance right now. Quality should be near perfect, in my opinion. Especially if you're live streaming. It's gonna look great.
Power weapons.
Now, if you're using this for just recording, you're going to have incredibly good video quality. But you can use these settings for YouTube as well.
Flag captured.
Yeah, we're doing great. Some great teamwork here.
Enemy there.
One more. By the flag. Got me.
Enemy is below. Shields are down.
Deadly precision.
Enemy shields down. Shields are down.
I knew there was someone behind. I think our guy's going to pull the flag.
They're close.
Enemy carrier revealed. After them. Power weapons incoming. Fragmentation kill confirmed.
N41 Spanker
he got me. Nice shot.
Five minutes remaining.
Sniper's gonna take them all out. Tango's closing in.
Mind you.
They're close. Above us.
One left.
Double kill.
Sometimes you gotta play dirty in this game.
Power weapons on the way.
Rockets are available.
Enemy Spartans are closing in.
Come back up.
Cluster.
One more.
Double.
Only one left.
Enemy flag returned. Enemy captured your flag. Flag
GG's.
victory.
That's a great game. Well, I hope you enjoyed the gameplay footage. The ARC A380 encoder using AV1 at 20 megabit bitrate. Using Intel QuickSync ARC A380. So let's just do a quick scoreboard check. Not bad, not bad. Dealt quite a bit of damage there. 21 kills. But one capture. Not bad at all. Hit like if you like the video and subscribe for future updates. I'm going to be doing more tech related videos as well as gaming content. And hope to see you next time. Leave a comment if you're just talking about ARC. Any questions or comments, feel free to leave under the video. and hit the bell for future notifications. That said, I hope you have a great day. Deuces.